All right, back tailgate talk with Talon Hawkins, newest member of AEO. Have you gotten the name down yet for the race team?
I have not yet.
Yeah,
I need to work on that. That's definitely something to work on.
It's the AEO team, KTM.
AEO, KTM.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, what is it?
What is it, Joe?
AEO Powersports KTM Racing.
AEO Powersports KTM Racing.
There you go. All right. So, but congrats on the new ride. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm
to
stoked
see.
on it. I'm stoked on it. A little change of pace this year. I was on the East Coast last year, but now we're back on the West Coast.
But you grew up in California. You grew up here. We're at Viney Ranch, by the way. Thank you all for letting us come out and do this. But you grew up out here, and so I think it's kind of like a natural fit for you to be more in this area. You live here. You know, it's not that big of a drastic difference. I think last year was a big difference for you at Husky, being in Florida, stuff like that, right?
No, for sure. It was definitely a big change for my first pro year to be in a completely different coast than what I'm used to. But honestly, I think it was a good fit for me because I really got my feet wet. I know what the East Coast is like. Now this year, I'm going to go head into the West Coast and get something else new, but in a sense, get something that I'm used to. Because I'm used to the dry dirt, the hard packed, no ruts, slick. I'm used to that stuff. I've ridden it my whole life. So I think it was good to get something different for my first year of pro. But now I'm excited to get back to what I know. Yeah.
Was it? So when I remember, I would text you, and I remember being like, it was rad to see you being in like the futures or whatever, like that you would start racing. And then all of a sudden I remember it was like, dude, you're fully thrown into the pro class.
Yeah.
Like that's gnarly. Like I haven't really seen that. And I think you and like a couple other people did that. But I mean, that had to have been a little bit of a challenge. And was that faster than what you ever thought it was going to be? Or did you say, well, I don't fucking care, I'm still doing it anyways? Like,
I think it was a little bit of both. I definitely got thrown in. Like I found out on like, I think I had like 3 days to prepare for a race. For racing. Yeah. I found out on a Monday, and I raced that Saturday.
Yeah.
So I had not even a full week to prepare to race.
Were you riding Supercross a lot though?
I was riding Supercross quite a bit, but I wasn't preparing to go race Supercross. I was preparing for the futures, just trying to learn how to ride. Yeah. Supercross, obviously, I came in, I wanted to win the futures. I didn't. I ended up getting third in it, but I came in with wanting to win, so I guess I was already in a way preparing, just I think mentally. Yeah. I didn't have much time to prepare for the pro races.
Well, I mean, but it's a lot of people have said like, oh, it's like trial by fire kind of a thing, and you didn't really have a choice. It was like, hey, we're gonna stick you here, and you're gonna have to figure it out.
Well,
you know?
And it was honestly my decision too. Like I wanted to go pro so bad because I wanted that feeling. Like, to me, it was more of like a spur of the moment. Like I don't even care if I'm not ready. I just want to go. Yeah. Like I'm ready to go. I want to be a pro. Yeah. So I think that's what it was. I was excited. The team was excited. Like I think honestly, and I'm glad I did it because what better experience for racing pro Supercross than just to do it. Yeah. So I got thrown in, just do it.
Was it so when you and I mean there's so many different things that are happening. It's got to be like a whirlwind experience. It's like, holy shit, I'm riding for a premier team. Yeah. You know, your rookie season, you're getting thrown in to the wolf den, and you're training out at Baker's factory, right, and all that stuff. Like you're training with those guys. Like, is it one of those things where it's like, okay, hey, I'm going to take all that stuff, and now that you're with a different team now, you're able to take the things that you learned, and I think what it is also you're able to say, hey, I didn't like this about this team, and I like this about this team, and you kind of marry the two. Like, is that like something that you're going to be able to take the time that you did there and learn the sprints or the different training techniques and stuff like that? Like we were out here, and I think you used a lot of the stuff that you were doing out there, and you're still continuing to use it. And so I guess the question is, I wasn't really asking a question there, was I? But but it's more of like, how do you take something that because I think that you would still want to ride for them, right? Like you would not that you would want to, but like nobody wants to be all of a sudden, hey, we're not going to renew a contract, or we're not going to have you on next season, and then you have to find a new team. Like, does that kind of make you bitter? Does that kind of make you like, oh no, fuck it, I already had to kind of prove myself once, I'm going to have to do it again? Like, what does that do for you?
In a way, it's just I'm just thankful that I got the opportunity to go pro in the first place. When I necessarily wasn't ready. Yeah. So obviously, I'm taking my experiences from last year and just helping it grow me and just become better and better every year. Yeah. Like you were saying with the whole Baker's factory thing, that was sick because it taught me discipline. It taught me, how to ride with, like, I was riding with some of the top guys in the world.
Yeah.
So it gave me like the mindset, like I know where I can be and where I need to be and where like what expectations I have for myself.
What were like, okay, so when you were thrown into that with Supercross, did you think, hey, I'm a top 5 guy, I'm a top 10 guy, I'm a winner? Like, I'm not saying like, oh, you don't think of yourself as a winner, right? Like you always want to win, but like, did you say, hey, I'm going to finish here? And did you meet those expectations, whether it was Supercross or whether it was outdoors?
Well, my expectations changed as I went through the seasons.
Okay.
So originally because I got thrown into Supercross, my goal was just to be just to make the main.
Okay.
So that was my first goal.
Show.
Made the night show, made the main.
Yeah.
First, actually, yeah, night show was obviously my first goal.
Yeah.
Then just work towards making the main,
okay.
which I did the first my first race.
Yeah.
So I was stoked on that, and then once I got to the main event, I was like, all right, this is the fun part.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have any pressure on myself, because I just wanted to make the main and just ride how I know how to ride.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been saying all last year was I just want to ride every race and ride how I know how to ride.
Yeah. And then
just kind of do my thing.
You got more comfortable as the season went on.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think anybody, if you talk to anybody, or anybody would say that, and it's easy because it's like, yeah, well, you know, that was his rookie season. So like you've never experienced it before. But did you have guys like riders, or like who were some of the people that kind of helped you at the beginning, at the early stages, that you kind of like leaned on and like relied on?
Well, I had to rely on a lot of people in the beginning for Supercross.
Yeah.
Just because I've raced Supercross on Super Minis, but big bikes, November of last year end of October of last year was my first time ever on a Supercross track on a big bike.
Was that when I would see you at Paula?
That's when was my first, Paula, I think that like that first day was the first time I've ever ridden Supercross on a big bike.
Oh shit. Okay.
So I hadn't really had much experience. I'd never hit a full-size set of whoops ever until October last year.
All right.
So that was a huge jump for me.
Okay.
But I leaned a lot on, I was teammates with Jalik. Me and him became closer as the year went on.
Yeah.
He actually would come out and help me after riding. He'd be like, hey, let's work on some shit.
Yeah, because he's been around a little bit longer, right? So it's like,
he's been
but
around.
not too long. You know, like he's still young.
Yeah, he's super young, but he's been through it more than I have.
Yeah.
So it was cool to get some insight from him. I took a lot of videos, like like in between riding, I would take videos of other riders, or if I was off that day or something.
Oh, you'd be a filmer?
I'd be a filmer.
Yeah, okay. That's why he's asking me questions out here, like, oh, why do you do it this way, or why do you do it that way? I'm like, I don't know. It's just kind of how I learned. So that makes sense.
Trying to steal your job.
No, dude, you take it. You trust me. You could have it anytime you want. But okay, so you would lean on that, and that's what you were doing in like your off time or whatever. You would do that stuff.
I study a lot of riders.
Okay.
I just look at how they ride and what they're doing, how they're manipulating the bike, just little things, especially in the whoops. That was the main thing that I would look at was whoops. Because being so new at it, they're sketchy, they're big, they're pointy. Like, I need to just study. Yeah, is the biggest thing for me.
What? Any advice for people that are about to start hitting a set of whoops for the first time? Just sack up and go, or
I think the biggest thing I did wrong was go into a full set. My first,
and not try like a beginner set or something.
I didn't try like really a beginner set.
You just
kind of went in, and I'm like, screw it.
Okay.
So I think that was, I pulled it off, but I think warming up on like smaller sets of whoops would be a good thing. I think if you can find like a whoop trainer or something to like help with whoops, that's good. Like right here, they got a whoop trainer right there.
Yeah, at Viney's place, they have a whoop trainer where it's just like a turn track with a set of whoops.
Just whoops, and then they start off there. On one side, there's only like 4, and then the next side there's like 6, 7, 8. Okay. So just to get you confident in them, because you don't want to just send it into them and then wad, and then you're going to lose your confidence for a while until you can get it back. Okay. So I think the way I did it was just balls and just sent it into it. But I think I should have had a little bit more like technique in the thought process.
Yeah, and like, all right, I'm gonna think that. But I don't think you had time. You didn't have time.
I didn't have time.
Like that is one of the good things. Like I said, being like thrown in trial by fire is you didn't have a choice. Like it was like, hey, I got to figure this out. Like I'm going. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Just going for it.
Yeah. So all right. So it was. I would say maybe kind of your expectations of last season is kind of what you thought. Like did it exceed it?
Dude, I was stoked on how last season went. Honestly, like I got better and better. I think most of my races, I think almost every race I did better and better.
Yeah, you did. You kept improving.
Like I just kept improving, not even just placement wise though, like riding on the bike. Every time I'd come to a race, I would feel just more and more comfortable.
And more safe. And
more
like more
safe,
in control.
More in control.
Yeah.
Just that's why I'm glad to be racing again this season.
Yeah.
Because I made it through the whole season healthy, and I just want to keep building.
Yeah.
As long as I can.
Well, so let's talk about that. Now you're on a KTM, you're on a Husky. They're different. I've ridden the two different bikes.
Yeah.
They are different, but they're not drastically different.
It's not drastic.
Yeah.
Honestly, the biggest thing to me was more the setup change, the
Yeah.
boots, the helmet, like all that, the
Yep.
feel stuff. That was mainly the biggest change for me, but I'm used to it now. I love the bike.
Yeah.
It's sick. It feels really similar to what I was on last year, just
Yeah.
little minor things.
Yeah.
But
And
just different.
yeah, but the good thing is I think this team maybe fits your vibe a little bit more. Like you're off season, like you're a surfer, right? Like you like, not even off season, but like you go out and surf, you go out and just enjoy life a little bit more. And it's like, hey, we want to, if there's like things that you want to change, or there's things that you want to like, hey, I'm interested in doing this. It looks like Jeremy and the team is like, all right, let's try it. You know, let's experiment a little bit, which I think, especially when you're a rookie, I mean, you're not a rookie now, but you kind of need that, you know? Like, hey, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I feel more comfortable with this. Like, you're able to do that with this team, and you have a whole new crew around you. Now you're working with Joe, right? And
Joe's the homie.
He's just
Sitting
chilling
right there.
He's chilling on his phone. Don't worry, we got one coming up with him in a little bit. But it's kind of cool that like I think you get that same lifestyle of the people that you're around. I think is going to gel with you pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, you've spent, how long have you been with the KTM team now?
I've been on the bike for about a couple months now, I'd say.
So like,
2 months.
What is some of the things that you're not, I guess it wouldn't be liking more than what you did at Husky, but like some of the things that you're enjoying that you're doing with this team that you're looking forward to, hey, when we get to the season and you're starting to race, like it maybe is a little bit more comfortable for you?
I think the biggest comfort thing is more being at home, which I loved it in Florida. I wouldn't change it for anything. I'm so glad I went out there. And I think it's just different. Like I grew up here. I'm in an environment that I'm used to.
Yeah.
I've ridden Paula. I know all the other places. Like I know all these places.
Yeah.
So I think getting back to a little bit of more home.
Yeah.
It has been good for me.
You're around people that you know.
I'm around, it's mainly the off the bike stuff that's really cool about being out here.
Yeah. Like riding, like with different riders that you've been around too. And then also, but when you're off the bike, and like I was saying, is you have homies in Huntington and you go surf with them, it lets you reset.
Yeah,
you know,
there's a bit of a reset. I can go after riding. I bring my board sometimes, and I'll go surf after, like a little sunset. I have friends out here. I can do more stuff off the bike, which that's when the discipline from Baker's comes in. Yeah, which I know I got to get my work done, and then I can play. Yeah, which is sick. So I'm stoked to have that in my bag of tricks. Yeah, you're not disciplined. You're not all of a sudden. Yeah, I mean, because you're young. How old are you? I'm 20. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's like what I was doing at 20. Not very disciplined, you know what I mean? Especially traveling, you know, the country, traveling the world sometimes, you know, doing stuff for riding a dirt bike. You know, you're making a living from riding dirt bikes. Like, it's like probably one of the coolest things you could possibly do. Yeah. Is this something you imagine as a little kid? Did you always dream of being a pro rider? Did you ever think that it would actually happen? Or I honestly didn't dream of it until more in the past, like 7-8 years. Oh, really? Like, when I was a kid, I didn't really know. Like, I loved dirt bikes. I liked racing. When I was a kid, I'm more like just riding. Yeah. Like, I like racing was cool, but whatever. But then as I grew up, I'm like, no, I actually like the racing part of it. Who got you into riding? My dad. And he still ride? He hasn't in a few years, but he's a surfer. He likes that stuff. He's not. He says, "Oh, dirt bikes suck. It's stupid." I'm like, "You're the one who got me into it." Yeah, it's like your fault, dude. Yeah. He's like, "We could have been in Fiji right now. Well, we could have been in Bali right now surfing, but now you're here getting laps in Corona." Or, yeah, I get it. We're doing laps in the dirt. But all right. I wouldn't change it for the world, though. I wouldn't either. I don't think I've ever met anybody that rides dirt bikes that would ever has any regret whatsoever. No. You know, like, I mean, it's a pretty damn cool job. So. Oh, sick job. I could be working a 9 to 5. I'm blessed to be able to. Yeah, no. Race dirt bikes for a living. All right. So next season, do you have a goal of what you're trying to accomplish and what you're trying to get done? Is it the same thing as last season where it's like just make the show, or do you? No. I think my expectations for myself this year are just be a steady top 10 guy. I just want to, and not even that, it's more just improve every race. Keep improving, and if you keep going up, eventually you're going to get somewhere pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's definitely true. That's the goal. I could see, like, you know, I think you have
the support around you too, where it's like you're capable of doing it. You know, like you have a lot of good guys around you, and they're all eager. They want to win. Like I know Jeremy, he wants nothing more than to have his bikes on the podium.
Oh, for sure.
You know, and so I think that's pretty rad, and you're on a good platform, and you know, I really hope it's a good season for you. You know, and you come into it ready, and you have a little bit more experience behind you, and you know, you're not really just trial by fire. You're like, okay, hey, I actually know kind of what I'm doing and have a little bit of prep to it. So
yeah. No, I'm excited for this next year. This is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, it'll be good. So yeah, West Coast, I mean, you don't have to worry about that. We know you're running West Coast because that's what the AEO team runs.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite round you're looking forward to?
Dude, I need to take a look. Honestly, Anaheim.
Yeah, because a couple of them have changed.
Yeah, a couple have changed. Isn't there one in San Francisco?
Yeah, so San Francisco instead of Oakland now.
That might be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That might be. Have they ever done a race like that in the past?
They did way back in the day.
They have.
Yeah, we keep looking off camera because Joe is over here, and you'll see him in a little bit. But these guys know more than what the riders do, and even guys like me, I forget shit all the time. But I'm rooting for you. You've always been like super cool to me at the very beginning, especially when you first got that Husky ride.
Yeah.
You know, your head could have went 30 times big. It only been about 10 times bigger. You know, but you've always been super cool, and every single time I see you out there, I root for you.
Thank you.
You know, and I want you to succeed, and it's cool that you're at the local team because I support AEO, and it's, you know, right down the street from my house, so that's pretty cool. But
same here.
Yeah, I wish you luck.
Thank you.
Have fun.
Let's go have fun this year.
Yeah, hopefully I'll see you there.
Yeah. We'll see you.
Thank you. Back with another tailgate talk with Joe Dehart, mechanic for. Oh, we just went through this with Talon.
Yep. AEO KTM Powersports Racing.
There you go. And so he's mechanic. You're going to be with Talon this year. You've been with the team for how long?
I've been since day one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've been since day one.
Okay, so you started it with Jeremy.
Yep.
So how did you meet Jeremy? How did that work?
I used to work for Austin Black. I worked with him for about 5-6 years, and when he switched from Suzuki's onto KTM's, I was like, hey guys, I know a guy that owns a dealership, and he's pretty cool, and he helps everyone out. So that's how I got in with Jeremy, is with Austin. Okay. And then Austin eventually got onto the team, and then I just came with him, and then I've been here since day one.
No shit. When was that? What year was that?
It's our third year. Yeah, this is my third year.
All right, so you like helped start with it. And then, okay, so let's back up. So when you were younger, you raced, right? And so you have like the racer background. You have, what level did you get to with racing?
I got all the way up to A class.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's fast, dude. A class is fast.
I wasn't that fast though. I made it to the class. I probably should have stayed in B. Yeah. But then the money ran out, and then I always was the kid that could work on my bike better than I could ride my bike. Okay. And then I kind of found that niche where, like, you know, I can't outwork you on a motorcycle, but I can outbuild you on a motorcycle. So then that's how I never went to school. I didn't do any of it. I learned all by myself.
No shit.
Just doing it, just breaking stuff and fixing it.
I had no idea. That's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah. So when was the year that you switched from like maybe your last year racing and then you started wrenching?
2013. And
what was your first gig?
I worked for a kid named Tyler Rosa.
Was that out here? Where did you grow up?
Out here. I grew up out here and born and raised out here. So basically just kind of knew a bunch of kids and stuff, and then I was still working construction. I was pumping concrete at the time.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And then doing the motocross stuff on the side. So then eventually I got good at it, and more of my friends started asking me for it, and I started making money off it, and I quit my job and then said, screw it. Went out and bought a bunch of tools and everything and invested, and now 10 years into it and still doing it.
What was your first paid gig?
Tyler Rosa. Okay. I was getting $200 a week.
Is that a lot or a little at that time?
That was... For what I was doing, I was a lot.
Okay.
I was basically just going to the races with him and just kind of hanging out, basically.
Yeah, and like making sure the tire pressure was right.
Tire pressure and spokes. That's pretty much all I had to do. And change the oil.
That's all you got to do now too.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm just a professional parts changer now.
Yeah. It's like, is one of those things too where my favorite is when, and no, I don't know if Talon does this or not, but, or any of your previous riders, where the rider would ride up and they would not put their bike on the stand. They would wait for the mechanic to do it.
My last rider did that.
I'm like, dude, come on, man. Like, it's not that hard to put your bike on the stand.
I've only done that for Austin because he's considered like my little brother.
Okay.
Like, Austin, love you to death, buddy. Yeah. But no, like he's had a couple times where he's been so tired where he's like looked at me and he's like,
I need help.
I need help. And
That's okay.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've had riders in the past walk up and literally just stand there and hold the bike, and I'm all the way on the track and I got to run. And it's demoralizing sometimes and stuff, but at the same time, like, it's my job.
Yeah,
I got to do it.
I get that, but it's just, I don't know, especially on like practice days even. Like, I get it on race days if they're like in a hurry or something like
100%.
Okay, so when you started wrenching, did you start for a team at one point?
No, I was just doing privateers, just little kids, just helping them out. And then the first kid that I actually helped that was associated with the team was TJ Rios.
Okay.
He was associated with the Rock River Yamaha team.
Yeah.
That was like my first introduction to like a team kind of thing, which was great. I loved it. And then unfortunately we went our separate ways, and then I found Austin, and he was with the Bar X. I worked with Bar X for about 6 months.
Yeah.
And then we kind of did our own thing. And
see, that's what I kind of remembered.
Yeah.
I was for some reason Bar X was kind of in my head.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
We were there for about 6 months, and then we transitioned onto the KTM, and then that's when we kind of did our own thing. And then, don't get me wrong, I love the team aspects. It's probably the best thing ever, but in that situation when it was just me and Austin, that was probably the funnest times I've ever had in my life. Just us traveling the country, doing us. Yeah. And now it's cool because now that I actually have someone to back us to go and do what we want to do, and Jeremy takes care of everyone on the team more than people understand. Yeah. He's just making it us kids just go out and play on dirt bikes. It's pretty rad.
So I guess you not having like the technical like training background, a lot of people I think, and the reason why I wanted you on is because a lot of people want to know like the mechanic behind the scenes stuff, right? But also I think a lot of people are like, oh, I have to do it this way. I have to go to MMI. Or is there any other ones? Is MMI
there's a couple like motocross schools that are back east, but to be honest, if you're mechanically inclined, just take it apart. Yeah. Just put your hands on it. Like my grandfather taught me, he was a diesel mechanic, and I had a diesel mechanic teach me how to take diesel engines apart. Yeah. And then I transitioned into dirt bikes. It's like I tell people, a nut's a nut, a bolt's a bolt. Like, just take it apart. Yeah. And yes, like, don't get me wrong, like once you get to our level, there is a lot more to worry about and check and know, but it's all common sense, really. Yeah, but I think you went a natural path of being able to do that. I don't think it was that difficult because you're like, okay, I'm going to start with a privateer. I'm going to start with one person. You're not going to be over like complicating things of like, oh, I have, 2 different bikes, or you don't have to worry about 2 different bikes, but you have a whole team around you. Yep. And so there's going to be more that happens. Like with a privateer, it's like, oh, I know exactly what I have to go through. You go through a station, but then you build yourself up from there. I think that's what is pretty cool and I honestly didn't know how it worked either, is I thought you had to go to MMI, you had to have the degree from them or somebody else, and then you have to work for this guy, then you could step to this person and, and build your way up. But I think you kind of went about it the right way. And it's also who too, it helps. 100%. Like it does for sure, especially in this industry. It fucking sucks with the who Yes. But it's also cool because if you prove yourself, which you were doing, you eventually get the opportunity, and then you have to deliver on that. Yeah, and right? Like the cool thing that just to like reiterate that, like 10 years ago, if you were gonna tell me I could walk into the KTM building right now and everyone there knows my name, I'd tell you you're fucking lying. Yeah. And now I can walk in and Carlos say hi, Frankie will say hi. Like it's
they're super cool there.
Yeah, it's rad. Yeah. It's super rad, and like thank you KTM for helping us do what we want to do. Yeah. But it's crazy to think that when I was little, I thought the industry was this big giant thing. In reality, we all know each other. We all take care of each other. We're all friends. At one point, we know each other. So like, the whole thing is you have to do this. Yes, there is certain things like you need to work with some amateurs first, and then work with a little bit faster amateur, and then work your way up. But
this is a problem about not having anybody with me, which actually this may change in 2024. I may have somebody helping me out, but we'll see. But yeah, so now we're still good. Recording. All right, we're good. So we left off, my memory card got full, and we're gonna try this for the 3rd time. But I think we're good and it's recording, is the mechanic side of things in the industry, and working like the dirty, grimy part of it, is it can be very welcoming, it can be very cool and friendly, but I feel like there's also drama.
There's a dark side. There's definitely a dark side. So like what me and Scott say is we deal with all the fucking bullshit during the week and this and that, and trying to find tracks and bike problems and complaining. But I do it for outdoors. I do it for that hour on Saturday behind the gate. Yeah. I deal with all the bullshit during the week, all the drama, everything, and it all disappears when the gate drops, because that's pure enjoyment right there.
Oh yeah.
So, and like,
dude, there's got to be nothing to experience being down on that field.
It's fun. Like the first time I went to Supercross, I froze because like you think like, oh yeah, you're not, no big deal. Like you look up and the stands are full and you're like, oh, I used to be there. And like that was one of the coolest, like the most humbling things I should say is being a mechanic, is looking up and knowing one of those kids up there could be me and could do what I did. So it's like, that's why whenever people come to the races and hang out, I always try to talk to them. I'm like, yes, there are those mechanics out there that are very serious. Nothing against them, but in reality, we're just dudes that spin wrenches. Like, be a person, be personable.
You know Josh Hansen?
Mm-hmm.
He's been one of these people that I've been around and like you would think like they're bigger than they are, you know? And I'll never forget it. I was telling him about that one day and he was like, bro, we ride dirt bikes.
Yeah.
Like it's dirt bikes. Like relax.
Like,
it's not that serious. Like don't he's like, oh, I remember he's like, oh yeah, you think you're sweet? Like that's like my favorite saying that he does is like, oh, when you think you're too high on yourself, this industry can get like that.
It'll humble you very quickly. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I hold myself to a very high regard and try to do it every day. But in reality, there's always somebody better than me. Always someone that can go faster. Always someone that knows more. So be a sponge. Like that's like one thing. Like with him, like a learning Talon is I got to be a sponge for next couple months until we start racing.
Yeah.
And then once racing starts, it's pretty. What's the word I'm looking for? Easy.
Yeah.
You shut your brain off. You ride during the week. You go race, and
it becomes automatic.
It's very automatic. The off season is where the nitty gritty comes in. The long hours, building the bike, testing, and all that stuff. But once you get to say like right now, like right before Thanksgiving, everything starts to gel and start rolling along. Like today, we finally started getting super comfortable with the bike, and I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm excited for the next day now. So like now we're getting that excitement for racing, and that's what drives me. I wake up every morning to see what he can do on the bike I built. Yeah, that's what drives me.
Pretty rad.
like straight up.
What do you do in like the off time? Like, what are some of the things that you try to get away from the sport on? I mean, you still ride though.
I actually the first time I rode was last Friday in a year. But most of the time I like to play golf, and I'm kind of a nerd. I like drive RC cars.
Yeah.
Like it's
gas or electric?
Electric.
Okay.
It's more or less like the way I look at it. It's just a motorcycle just shrunk down. And I can't get hurt. I can cartwheel it and walk over and pick it up and keep going.
Those things are gnarly.
They're fun. And I love tinkering. So it's like I like building anything. Like when I was a little kid, I took weed eaters apart, anything and everything apart.
It was always a thing for you.
I love taking shit apart.
That was like your side and I've talked to a couple other people and they're like other people, they don't like to. But they became mechanic. They're like, oh, I'm a mechanic or I'm this. That's good that you like doing it because then it's like, okay, the hours like you were saying when you pulled apart the bike or you put together the bike and you put it together another bike is you're doing it because you enjoy it.
Yeah, it was no big deal. And I hate to say it, like a good song came on and I was like, I started grooving and I was like, screw it, pulled the bike into my bay and just kept going. And like that's the big thing too is like if the mood, like I've always told people like my mood is always super light, super fun. Like I worked construction. I've worked a hard labor job. I know this isn't work. That is fun. That
stuff sucks. Yeah.
It does, but it makes you appreciate like this is fun. I get paid to travel the country to work on motorcycles and hang out with my friends and stuff like that. Like if you would have told me in my early 20s that and when you're 30 you're going to be making good money traveling, I would have been like you're crazy. You're crazy. Yeah. Like there's no way. But shit. It came all the way around.
Did you know Talon from before?
I've known him. I met him back when I worked for Tyler Rosa. His mom and Tyler's mom were really good friends.
Oh, okay.
We didn't know each other quite as much. Like we would see each other and wave each other at the track. But
you knew each other. It wasn't like completely from nothing.
Exactly. So that was good. And then like the funny thing is, like we're leading up to the end of the season. Jeremy told me who I was working for, and I was stoked. Like I was like, heck yeah! Like this is gonna be fun. Like finally somebody that gets like the fun California vibe. Like all right, we're done with our work. Let's go have fun. Like let's separate ourselves. Yes.
So when you kind of got him on board, were there did you have like any kind of expectations of what you thought it might have been like that maybe is a little bit better than what you thought?
To be honest, he's a lot easier than I thought. I hate to say it, coming from a factory team, I would think he would be more this, and he's actually like the funny thing is the first day he rode, I was like, "How do you like the handlebars?" He looked at the handlebars and like, "They're bars,
they're good,"
and like that's the attitude that he has, and it's awesome because he's like, I'm not a big picky guy. It's more or less, my suspension's good, cool. My bars are set, sick. Let's send it.
Yeah.
Like he makes it way easier. He takes the guesswork out of it.
Yeah.
Like he's like, literally, I can move his levers an inch up, and he'll be like, oh, I'll get used to it. No big deal.
Yeah, but do you think that might change on race day?
We'll see.
Yeah.
If not, I may have to give him a little knuckle sandwich here and there.
It's
But
like, hey, come on, let's do it.
Yeah.
No, it is pretty cool because I've seen you with some other guys, and I don't know the exact relationship, but I know how he is and I know how you are, and I'm like, okay, that's a good fit.
Yep.
And I think there is an aspect of it too where you could have complete opposites and you'll bring the best out of each other. But there is also something where it's like, hey, you gel well with this person. You're not as stressed out on race day.
100%.
You're not stressed out doing something on the bike. You're not stressed out of, oh my God, I have to have it this 0.2 degree back or whatever. Like you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. And it makes your job easier, which makes it easier for riders and be able to do that stuff, you know?
And like going back to it, like first year of the team, like Austin got hurt right before Supercross, and I worked for Carson Brown. And again, he was just like him, just as long as it bolts are tight, I'll send it. And like that made it super easy. And him and Carson have the same attitude, like, hey, I'm just here to have fun. Like I ride dirt bikes. Like I got a gift and I'm gonna use it. And like that's what's cool is like we're just kids, man.
Yeah.
I'm 31 years old, but I still feel like I'm 14. Like that's one thing about this sport. It makes you feel young because you're always around the young kids and always active. Like I'm outside all the time, and you can't beat it.
I mean, this beats sitting in an office.
Oh, 110%.
You know, it's Monday it's 1:19.
Yeah, and it's beautiful out.
Yeah, and it's super nice out. But so there is a lot of good about it, but there's got to be something that you hate about being a mechanic.
The travel
after
being
a while?
away from home.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to say it may sound really dumb, but I had 2 dogs. Those are my kids. And
I get it.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
3 to 5 days out of the week for out, like Supercross, easy. I love Supercross. I'm home all the time where it's...
Yeah, you do local rounds,
yes,
so
we're
like
all
you're
West
not...
Coast, so, but the outdoors, it's pretty gnarly. More or less, it's Monday fly home, Tuesday ride, Wednesday ride, Thursday you go to the airport, Friday you're at the track, and it's repetitive, but like I said, that's the only thing that kind of sucks about our job is the travel.
Yeah, after a while it could get really old and stagnant. Yeah.
But like I'm like on the flip side of that coin is I get to travel a lot. I get to see a lot of cool places. Like
it's a double-edged sword.
Yes. Yeah. Like for Supercross, the traveling's great. We're in cities all the time. We've got great food, great atmosphere, great venues. Outdoors is even better. You get more of like the country vibes and like the hanging out and like more of a family vibe, which is cool. It's different. But I like Supercross, man.
It's rad.
It's way better. Bikes are the show. It's the show.
It's the premiere.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the premiere of anything in our sport. That's the premiere. Is there anything you hate working on a dirt bike?
Air filters.
Really?
I hate doing air filters.
Dude, that was probably way too loud for this thing, but I got really shocked by that.
I'll get oil and grease and chain lube all over my hands. I hate air filter oil on my hands.
Really? You don't wear gloves?
Nope, I don't wear gloves at all.
Okay.
Ever.
All right. Well, I mean, I could buy you a set of gloves if you want.
Oh, no. The mechanics where hooks us up on race day.
I know, but latex gloves for changing air filters is not that big of a deal.
Well, luckily we actually got hoodie this year, so
okay.
I go, here you go, bud. Here's all the shit.
DT1.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's way and he's definitely helped us out, not having to get fucking.
Yeah, but you still have to open that bag and pull it out.
That's shitty.
You know, so it's like, oh man. All right.
Out of the one thing that's probably the one thing that irks my gears the most.
Yeah. Okay. When does it really start setting in that it's here? Is it now that you're like already like, oh shit, A1 is here?
No, December 1st.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when it like
all right,
everything kind of shrinks down.
Yes, okay. That's when, all right, we need to really knuckle down, get our parts list ordered. Everything needs to be in order. So say come the 18th of December when we load everything's ready to go.
Yeah.
Like we're ready to go. So that's our goal, is to have everything done, ready to go by the 18th. So then we can have Christmas and stuff, like a little bit of a breather before knuckle time, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So, but no, I think right now till Thanksgiving, it'll probably be just ramping up, and then come December 1st, it's full force. Like we need to hit a home run. So.
Well, I mean, that's going to happen very quickly here.
Yeah,
we only got a few more weeks and then we'll be here. What's your goal for Talon? Podium, like first place up there, like doing the number one. Yeah, doing the number one out there.
That would be fucking epic, but I'm gonna keep realistic. If we can do top 10s every weekend and build, say end the season with a top 5 or a podium, That'd be over the moon.
What was the best finish you've had as a mechanic?
5th place with Carson at San Diego.
You'll get better. Talon, hey, you need to get better. I'm talking to Talon off camera right now.
And so I also had a bet with Carson that year. It's like, and I'll do the same one right here on camera. If he gets better than a 5th place that night, I will shave my head.
I want to shave it.
So
no,
okay,
you can't.
so Talon,
he did.
Talon said if he does that, he wants to be the one to shave your head.
By all means, he can do it.
Deal? Talon's deal? Your deal? All right, there it is on camera. I'm gonna have to clip that and put it on Instagram.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we'll see. But dude, I need a picture later of you with your head shaved.
Oh yeah.
All right.
100% will.
I do think that you will end up getting Talon will end up getting those. You'll end up being there on the podium with them. I do foresee that happening, and I think that would be cool. And like I was telling Talon earlier, is like Jeremy deserves that.
Oh, 100%.
Like he's put his heart and soul into this team.
People don't understand how much he's literally nonstop from probably 5 in the morning.
Full go.
Till midnight every day, every single day. And
full go.
That his phone dies probably 6 times a day. Legitly, he's constantly doing stuff for us and constantly asking anything you need from me, anything I can help you with, anything I can get you. So it's like, if we can give him back that, I think that would probably be the biggest blessing to him. Is like, here, we did it for you, not for us. We did it for you, for helping.
You guys
us.
do it for each other.
Yeah, we're all a team. We're all friends.
All right. You have a favorite round that you go to?
My favorite round is probably Hangtown because my parents live up there.
Oh, so you get to see them?
Yeah, and San Francisco. So that's like the 2 times a year. Like all my family comes to the races. So I look forward to those ones.
So before it was Oakland, so they would still go to the Oakland because it's 45 minutes away or whatever. Yeah. But now it's in not Candlestick. What's
it's in the Giant Stadium.
Yeah. So it's right there on the bay, which I think they've raced there before, but it's been a long time.
The early 2000s.
Yeah. So that's actually kind of cool. You get to see back there, and you're actually going to be on the ground.
Yep. And you get to cross a bridge. Like you park on like a little island and you ride across and over. It's pretty cool.
How are they gonna do parking?
I don't know.
Oh man, yeah, you're like, that's not my job. I don't care. I'm gonna show up and do it. All right. Any weird race day things that you have to do, or weird superstitions that you do as a mechanic? I meant to ask Talon that earlier and I forgot.
On race day, I have a certain pair of pants I wear every race. Yeah.
No matter what.
I'll buy a one pair of pants for the race.
What happens if they rip?
I have to buy another pair.
Okay, but it just has to be that specific
one pair. Like this is a pair from last year.
Okay, all right.
So it's that, and then I have to call my girlfriend in the morning and tell her I love her, and then
you won't talk to her again until that night. Yeah, because it's just too much going on. Yeah,
and that's usually pretty much it.
Nice. Okay,
and it's worked so far.
All right. Any other words of wisdom as a mechanic in this world for some people that are thinking about doing that, or even coming up as a rider or whatever?
I would say. Take the road less traveled. Try something that you haven't tried. If it's hard, it's probably hard for a reason. And if you can conquer it, then you've got one leg up on everybody else.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it, is building bikes and what we learn. It's not hard. It's just you have to put the time in.
Yeah.
Just literally just want it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, is wanting what you're doing.
Yep. Falling in love with it helps too.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I'm going to let you go. You don't have to go to the gym. Yeah, you don't have to go to the gym or anything, but somebody does.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you, dude.
No problem.
I really appreciate you sitting down with me. As I like getting that aspect side of things. Like, I love getting the rider stuff, but it's also, I think, just as important getting outside of just the rider, the mechanic, the team guy, gosh, what am I thinking of? Trainers. Thank you, Talon. And like the athlete, managers and stuff like that. Like, there's so much that goes on that I did not know that existed in this world. You know what I mean? And so it's pretty cool. So I appreciate it, and I hope to get more of it. So when you talk to your mechanic buddies, be like, yeah, it's sick. Do it. Have fun.
For sure.
But yeah, all right. I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys for watching. I hate asking this. Oh, and it's getting windy right at the perfect time. Like and subscribe this video. Thumbs up it, hit the little bell, whatever the hell you have to do. That's the only way YouTube pushes this stuff. So if you guys could do that, I'd appreciate it. So thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Boom. Done. Was that good enough for you, Talon?